Good morning. It's now 7:04 on this Tuesday, October 19th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome on a Tuesday. Our program presented by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital, and it's nice to have Tracy Pope here. I hope for Tracy it's nice to have me back. Tracy, good morning.
It's so good to see your smiling face, Coleman. Welcome back.
You have done 3 programs without me, and Judge Tatum was host for all 3, right?
Yes. Judge Tatum did a wonderful job. He filled in your stead, and we enjoyed the program, but I'm really glad to have you back.
Well, it's certainly nice to be back, but it's nice to see you again, and I'm glad he took good care of you, but he always does. You are the Director of Community Relations for Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital and are responsible for bringing somebody here for us to talk to twice a month. And you have somebody today. You want to tell us who?
Yes. I feel like every time I want to, brag about Vanderbilt being in Wilson County. They acquired the hospital just about 2 years ago and are bringing lots of additional services to Wilson County, bringing care closer to home. And so we're excited to have Dr. Laura Beth Ramirez with us. She is a physician with the Department of Medical Oncology. So about a year ago, we opened the Vanderbilt Ingram Cancer Center at Wilson County, and she is part of the medical oncology team that is bringing care closer to home.
All right. Well, Dr. Laura Beth Ramirez, tell us a little bit about yourself, if you will.
Sure. Good morning. Thank you so much for having me here this morning. I am a Tennessee native. I grew up in Memphis, Tennessee, and attended medical school in Memphis at UT College of Medicine. And then I stayed there for my residency training, and then I went down to New Orleans to Tulane University for my hematology and oncology fellowship training. And I practiced in New Orleans at a community hospital in the Garden District for about 6 years. That was at Touro Infirmary. And about a year ago, my husband and I decided that we wanted to get back closer to family. So we started looking for opportunities in Tennessee and spoke with people at Vanderbilt. And my husband is an oncologist also, so we both found great fits for positions at Vanderbilt. And I was really excited about the opportunity to come to Wilson County and really bring oncology care to Middle Tennessee, expand access for patients and make it easier for people to get their care closer to home.
Right. Is it unusual that a husband and wife are both oncologists?
A little bit, yes. There are certainly a lot of two-physician couples. Oncology can be stressful. We find it nice that we can talk to each other about it, and at times we say that's enough work talk, and let's get on with life.
Yeah. Well, at what point did you decide the medical field was for you, and then maybe at what point did you specialize?
I knew from an early age that I was interested in medicine, and certainly by high school I knew that I wanted to be a doctor. And in college I took a pre-med major and didn't waver from that. I'd majored in biology with a minor in chemistry. Now in medical school, when we started learning about oncology in our pathology courses, it was just very interesting to me. And as I started doing rotations, taking care of patients, I really enjoyed taking care of people with cancer for the relationships that you built, the continuity of care. They were very obviously concerned about their disease and appreciative of their care. And I found you could really develop close, meaningful relationships and provide a lot of support during a very rough and vulnerable time in someone's life.
You really enjoy what you do.
I do very much,
yeah.
Yes.
And I'm sure you find it rewarding if you can help people lengthen their stay here on this earth.
Absolutely. We're not always able to cure someone's cancer, but I think that we can offer a lot in the way of improving symptoms and quality of life and giving people more time with their family and loved ones. And oncology is always advancing. There's lots of research going on all the time. Our treatment options have gotten much better. So even if we're not able to cure someone's disease, we're usually able to, as you said, extend their life, improve quality of life. And now with better screening and providing more access to care, a lot of times we are able to cure disease.
Yeah. Well, what exactly does a medical oncologist do?
So a medical oncologist treats patients who have a diagnosis of cancer. Sometimes that is getting involved very early on with the initial workup of what their problem is and helping to make that diagnosis, determining the stage or how advanced their disease is, then discussing treatment options with them. We're the doctors who give chemotherapy. Now that includes a lot of targeted therapy and immunotherapy as well. We're also the point person to coordinate a lot of their care, so we'll make referrals to radiation oncology or to a surgeon if that's needed. We make referrals to a lot of supportive services like physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, to help manage treatment side effects. And then lots of our patients stay with us for years and years, and we do their long-term follow-up and surveillance for their cancer as well.
Now, when we talk about oncology and oncologists, now, are you talking about primarily internal cancer? Are we talking about skin cancer, all cancers, or?
So it really, oncology is a broad term that includes all cancers. So then that kind of subdivides into there are cancers of the blood and bone marrow, there are lymphomas of the lymphatic system, there are skin cancers and solid tumors of all the organs of the body. I'm a general medical oncologist, so I see really anybody that walks in the door, and that so that includes all those types of cancers. Now, there are also more subspecialized oncologists who treat one or maybe two tumor types and are much more specified in their care.
Well, let's talk about some things about being a medical oncologist at Vanderbilt that you enjoy the most.
I have been so happy at Vanderbilt, especially being a community oncologist. It's wonderful to have all of the resources to be able to provide really state-of-the-art care to patients. We also have, I love that it's an academic center that has all of the academic support so that we have access to people who are doing really cutting-edge research and coming out with new and improved therapies. We have access to tumor-specific tumor boards, which are conferences. So I'm a general oncologist, so I see all different types of tumors. But if I have a specific question about a particularly challenging case, I can call into a tumor board and talk with a panel of experts in that area and really bring expert level of care to the patients here in Middle Tennessee, whereas now they don't have to drive so far to get that care.
Mm-hmm. Well, Vanderbilt coming to Lebanon has meant a lot, hasn't it, Tracy?
Absolutely. And just like Dr. Ramirez is saying, Vanderbilt is a nationally renowned institute in Nashville. And here in Wilson County, we are just an extension of that. And the Vanderbilt Ingram Cancer Center is a comprehensive cancer center. And that's what Dr. Ramirez can bring to the residents of Wilson County. Not only does she have access to the specialized oncologist that patients might need to see from time to time, but they can receive that care here in Wilson County and not have to go downtown to Nashville. As far as radiation oncology, we've talked about this before, but we have an Ethos linear accelerator that was installed a year ago when the Cancer Center opened, and it was the fourth in the nation to be installed here in Wilson County, and it was the first within the Vanderbilt Institute. So, they are investing in our county, in our community, and we just couldn't be more happy.
So really, just about anything is available right here in Lebanon, isn't it?
Absolutely.
With the resources that you have, the backup, let's say.
Yes. And we're treating patients right here every day. Our clinic is open 5 days a week. We do chemotherapy infusions, immunotherapy. We do blood transfusions, any kind of infusion therapy that patients need. We're doing 5 days a week. As Tracy said, radiation oncology is right there. We're treating patients 5 days a week with radiation, which that's a big improvement over having to drive to Nashville because patients come in, if you're on a radiation schedule, you come every day. Maybe for 6 weeks. So that saves a lot of time. It really improves their quality of life.
Well, are you here exclusively, or do you other places get to share you?
I have 2 clinic locations with Vanderbilt. I'm in Spring Hill 2 days a week, and I'm in Lebanon 2 days a week.
Okay.
And then I have a day off at home with my kids.
Well, tell us, we got a minute here before we take a break. Tell us about your family. You mentioned your husband and that both of you are oncologists.
Yes, so we're both oncologists. We have a 13-year-old daughter who lives primarily in Memphis, but this move put us much closer to have more time with her, which is wonderful. And we also have a 4-year-old daughter who's at home with us. She just started preschool this year and is just loving it. We're very happy with the move, and we're closer to family. My sister and her kids live nearby in Knoxville, and my parents are in Collierville, right outside of Memphis. So we have much more time with everyone.
Okay, time for us to take a break. Our program presented by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. Dr. Laura Beth Ramirez is with us this morning. Vanderbilt Department of Medical Oncology, and of course Tracy Pope, Director of Community Relations for Vanderbilt. And we'll take a break here. More coming up on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Bates Ford, that regular oil change, $24.95, up to 5 quarts of oil, tax and disposal, $16.73, West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Give yourself a little bit of extra time as we watch traffic build out of Rutherford County on 24. As you come up through the Hickory Hollow area, all that traffic flow passing Bell Road. It's still moving I-40 through Hickman County into Dixon County. Just watch your speed. That wreck did have some injuries on the west side. 4200 block of Harding Pike. Hey, Princess Hot Chicken is now open inside the Assembly Food Hall near the National Museum of African American Music on Broadway. Order online at princesshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing has experienced new leadership and a new atmosphere. Same location in the heart of Lebanon, 731 Castle Heights Court on the Castle Heights campus. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing is providing 5-star clinical outcomes to short-term and long-term care residents. Call 615-444-4319 for a tour and to experience the new culture. Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing.
At Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital, world-class care is a heartbeat away. In fact, we offer the same world-class attention Middle Tennessee has come to rely on from a Vanderbilt Health Hospital. Supported by over 200 specialties, an expanded emergency department staffed with Vanderbilt Health physicians 24/7, and greater investments in life-saving technologies and care. It's just one more way we're making healthcare personal.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us, and our thanks to Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital for making these Tuesdays possible, where twice a month we have a medical professional that is procured by Tracy Pope. Now, were you trying to tell me something?
Yes. I wanted to start out at the 7:15 hour and give a big shout out to my very dear friend, Camille Burdine. Happy birthday, friend. She's a city councilwoman here for the city of Lebanon. I'm sure lots of people know her. So happy birthday. I hope you have a great day.
All right. Happy birthday, Camille. Well, Dr. Laura Beth Ramirez is our special guest this morning. We've already found out a lot about her. You said you have a 14-year-old daughter?
13-year-old.
13
yes,
and a
and a 4-year-old.
Right. Plus a husband who is also an oncologist.
Yes.
Yes. Well, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So let's talk a little bit about preventive medicine for a moment here and some of the guidelines for early detection.
Yes. So breast cancer remains a major health concern for the women in our country. It is the leading cancer diagnosis for women in the United States. And it is the second leading cause of death from cancer for women in the United States behind lung cancer. So it is a major health concern, and we definitely recommend screening measures for early detection. For women who are at average risk, we recommend a mammogram and annual breast exam starting at age 40. Now, the average risk is 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer, about 12% of women in their lifetime. But factors that put you at an increased risk for breast cancer are broad. There are many of them. Certainly a family history of breast cancer. There are some genetic disorders that increase a woman's risk for breast cancer. If a woman has a personal history of breast cancer, then she's at an increased risk of developing a second cancer. And then there are some reproductive factors that come into play if a woman starts her period at an early age, which would be under age 13, or if she has a late menopause, which would be after age 55, or a late age at her first childbirth or never births a child, so a late age would be after age 35. And all of those factors increase her the duration of estrogen exposure. And we know that estrogen plays a large role in development of certain types of breast cancer. So for those women who have an increased risk, there are different screening recommendations. If there's a family history, then we start mammograms at a younger age, maybe than the standard guidelines. But for standard risk, mammogram and breast exam starting annually at age 40.
And this from then on, or is there comes a time when you don't need to do that?
I believe there is an age that is published that is said that you don't need to. We pretty much recommend we continue on.
Yeah.
Yes.
And special emphasis is given this in October, this month. Is there any particular reason that October was chosen, or you just 1 out of 12, I guess?
Honestly, I'm not aware of the history of why October was chosen. Most cancers do have a month designated to raise awareness. I know that November is lung cancer awareness, but I don't know why October was chosen.
Yeah. Now you deal as an oncologist. You deal with breast cancer as well. Have there been maybe a number of improvements in the way that breast cancer is treated, and maybe surgeries and this sort of thing?
There definitely have been. Over the years, there's been a lot of research looking at how extensive does surgery need to be. And we've really learned that in a lot of cases, we don't need as extensive or as aggressive surgery as was done years ago. For instance, when a woman is diagnosed with a breast cancer, in most cases, doing a lumpectomy, an examination of the lymph nodes under the arm, is as effective as a mastectomy. So less surgery. It doesn't change overall outcomes. So women are able to have a better cosmetic outcome and breast-preserving surgery that way. There also have been a lot of improvements in treatments. We're really trying to hone in on how much treatment is necessary. We have molecular testing that looks at this specific DNA characteristics of a tumor type and really helps us determine which women need chemotherapy after their surgery and which women don't. And I would say over the last 10 to 15, 20 years, we've really reduced the number of patients that we're treating with chemotherapy, which is wonderful. Chemotherapy, of course, causes a lot of side effects, and it can cause long-term down the road side effects. It can even cause secondary cancers sometimes. So it's very important to reduce that toxicity when we're able to safely do that. And then we use a lot of hormone therapy to suppress estrogen and help prevent cancer, breast cancer down the road.
Well, I think anybody, man or woman, does not want to hear the C word, that they've been diagnosed with cancer. But from what you're saying here, it sounds that if one especially has breast cancer, maybe there's more hope or less despair today than there were 10, 20, 30 years ago. Absolutely.
Overall, long-term survival from breast cancer, when it is treated at an early stage, is excellent. Over 80%, 90% of patients are living past 5 years. I have patients with stage 4 or very advanced breast cancer who have been living for over 20 years. Now, that's not always the case. There are different types of breast cancer. Some are much more aggressive than others. But the key is to get your screening exams so that it can be found at an early stage when it is most often curable.
And again, October, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and the mammography is one of the big recommendations, right?
Yes, absolutely.
At 40, unless there's other reasons to start earlier.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
And one of the larger investments that Vanderbilt has made at our hospital is we now have access to 3D mammography. So that is not something that we had before. We became part of the Vanderbilt health system, but we're excited to say that, the upgrades in our equipment have really been amazing. We installed a brand new MRI unit and suite in this summer. So we have access to the best equipment just here in Wilson County.
Well, again, another reason to choose Vanderbilt Ingram Cancer Center. And there's some notes that you've given us today, which I think we could talk about. One being the team approach. Now, we may have alluded to a little bit of this earlier, but it's in the multitude of counselors, there's wisdom. I think that's from the Bible. But that is true in medicine, is it not?
Yes, absolutely. I think it's always so important to engage with your colleagues and discuss cases and get everybody's input. No matter how many journals and textbooks you read, experience plays such a huge role in how you take care of patients, and engaging with your colleagues to get other people's input to give ideas about difficult cases really helps and improves the care for patients overall.
And the specialized tumor boards?
Yes, so a tumor board is really a multidisciplinary conference that includes a medical oncologist, radiation oncologist, a pathologist, and radiology. So we bring cases forward. One of the physicians will present the case, give the background details, and then there's a full review of all of the information that we have. And we have all of the important players right there at the table to answer questions, clarify things, and then discuss what the different options would be, and as a team come up with what's going to be the best recommended approach.
And as far as patient-centered care, comment on that, if you will.
Well, I think especially in oncology, the idea of patient-centered care is so important. We're obviously taking care of very sick people, and that work can become very detailed and medical, and it is important to remember that these are people that you're taking care of. And I think especially at the Wilson County campus, that there's really a focus on that. When patients walk into the clinic, it's a beautiful space. There are lots of windows. The parking lot is right there. You're not dealing with complicated parking garages. There's somebody sitting at the front desk to greet you. Everything is very personalized and welcoming feeling. So keeping that focus on the patients is so important. I've been very impressed at Vanderbilt with the communication to patients that is afforded. We have lots of resources, and every aspect of the care is paid attention to.
Okay, one final thing for you, and then we'll sort of let Tracy wrap it up as we usually do. But recent developments in the field of cancer care that you find exciting. We may have talked a little bit about this before, but there's research going on all the time, and I think all information is pretty much pooled. The doctors have conferences. You have times that you get together, discuss things. All that, no doubt, lends to further development in detection and in care.
Absolutely. I think one of the really exciting things in cancer care that is still developing is really molecular basis of treatment. So that gets to really personalized medicine. So we're able to take samples from a patient's tumor after it's been removed at surgery and perform special testing to look at the genetics or DNA of their specific tumor. So say every breast cancer is not the same as every other breast cancer. There are some genetic mutations that occur. This is especially true in lung cancer. This applies to colon cancer. You'll find certain genetic mutations that can be targeted now with a specific treatment. So sometimes we're able to avoid the standard, very toxic chemotherapy. And we can use even sometimes oral medications to target specific mutations referred to as driver mutations, or this is what is causing this person's cancer to grow. And we're really able to provide that personalized medicine and give that patient a very specific treatment for their cancer that can be impressive in the results that you'll see: reduction in tumor size, people living longer, feeling much better, not having the side effects of all the chemotherapy.
Well, it has been nice to have you here today, and we hope you continue to enjoy your stay here working in Lebanon at Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital, Dr. Laura Beth Ramirez. And Tracy, we got a couple of minutes here. I'm sure you've got few things you want to say before you leave this morning.
Yeah, I think just to wrap it up, that we just want to say the Vanderbilt Ingram Cancer Center at Wilson County is a nationally leading comprehensive cancer center that they have brought to Wilson County and the surrounding counties. Like Dr. Ramirez said, it has its own entrance on the north side of our hospital. You can go to our website, vanderbiltwilsoncountyhospital.com, and find additional information. It will talk about all the physicians, all the specialties, all the providers that you have access to, and the Vanderbilt Ingram Cancer Center provides medical oncology as well as radiation oncology just here in our hometown.
Well, really, there's been a lot of. I think when Vanderbilt took over here, change began, and it is still changing.
It is. It is. I have been fortunate enough to work at this hospital for 6 years. And before that, I was previously in a surgical practice. So I feel like I've been in the healthcare space for quite some time. And just the 2 years that Vanderbilt has been part of our hospital and owned our hospital has been amazing. I can't wait to see what the next 5 to 10 years will bring.
When was it? Was it 2 years ago in August?
August 2019, yes,
Right.
sir.
Okay. So all this that has changed in 2 years' time.
Correct. And then it was September 2020 when our Vanderbilt Ingram Cancer Center here at Wilson County opened. So, yeah.
Well, Dr. Laura Beth Ramirez, again, thanks for being with us
Thank
today.
you so much for having me this morning.
Appreciate that. And Tracy, you always do a good job, and I got to brag on you a little bit. It is good to see you again, though, and I am glad you missed me.
Thank you, Coleman. Good to see you, too.
That is part one of Coleman and Company, presented by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. Stay with us for more here on FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. It's all brought to you by our friends at Absolute Kubota. They have Land Pride, quality tractor implements including cutters, finish mowers, box blades, tillers, and more. 5-year gearbox warranty, extremely durable and well-built. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. We see some traffic developing now on 109. All that traffic flow coming through Wilson County, headed towards the interstate, coming down out of Gallatin as well on 109. Traffic still looks good. 65 through Madison. It's just busy out here in the normal spot. 65 up through Brentwood, Franklin. Crash Castlegate at Smith Springs Road, getting some attention. It's got the intersection blocked. Oktoberfest at Obergatlinburg going on now through the end of the month. You still got time. Check it out at obergatlinburg.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
71 degrees all the way.
73 degrees, please.
So what's your perfect degree of comfort? We'll help you find it with professional Rheem HVAC service that'll keep your home comfy year-round, save on energy costs, and may qualify for utility rebates and tax credits. So enjoy a new degree of comfort.
72 degrees, and I'm good to go.
Financing available through TVA's Energy Right program and your local power company. Call Randy's Heat and Air 237-3604.
The Titans try to win a second consecutive AFC South Division title. Every snap.
Gives Henry around right in to the 5 to the end zone.
Every first down. Every touchdown.
Touchdown Titans!
It's all heard here.
Brought to you by Fakes and Hooker, Bates Ford, Steve Mall Plumbing, The Jewelers, and the City of Lebanon Gas and Tennessee 811. Call before you dig.
This is Wilson County's home for real country music and the Tennessee Titans. Real Country 98.9.
Hey, TP.
Yeah, JB?
You ready?
For Friday Night Lights, you better believe it. Join us on the Fakes and Hooker Scoreboard Show every Friday night after the Lebanon High football game. We'll have all the scores for you and even post-game interviews with all of your Wilson County coaches.
Thank you to our sponsors, Designers Carpet, Fakes and Hooker, Lebanon Appliance, Palometto's Insurance, Sammy B's Restaurant, and Kenny Salas and the hometown team with Keller Williams Realty.
It's the Fakes and Hooker Scoreboard Show with John Boyce and Trenton Perry, right here on WANT 98.9 FM.
It's going to be another beautiful October day out there today. Highs will top out in the low 70s and mostly sunny skies. On Wednesday, temperatures will climb into the mid-70s with bright sunny skies. Rain chances return on Thursday. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's Look at Your Forecast. I'm meteorologist TJ Scott.
All right, we welcome you to part two of Coleman and Company. It is a Tuesday morning, and it's my pleasure to introduce Sean Dozier, Executive Director of Heartside Senior Living. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman. Welcome back.
Thank you. I've missed you.
I missed you too. I tell you, we got to be careful what we say because we don't have the light to tell us.
It's a little bit unusual
different.
and awkward, but I'm adjusting, and we're going to do all right. I think it sounds pretty good on the air.
It does sound good. I was listening on the way in. And
we just... because of circumstances here that we're working on and improving all the time, it's going to get better.
It's going to be good. Hey, well, I'm glad you're back. I had at least a dozen people ask me where you were, like we were best friends. And I just said, just keep them in your prayers. I figured you needed prayers whether you were sick or not. So they,
you bet.
But you got a lot of people out there. I was in Kroger last week, and the nice lady there asked me how you were. So people missed you, and I'm glad you're back.
Well, thank you. And again, Sean's Executive Director of Heartside Senior Living. We talk about that every Tuesday at this time, but it is a retirement and assisted living community at 215 Castle Heights Avenue North. And how long you been doing this?
I've been there since 2018, and I really have enjoyed it. I've always thought I would love being at Heartside. After I went into that industry, into the nursing home industry, I thought one day I'd like to serve there, and it's been a good fit. Our assisted living community continues to thrive and continues to be really a tradition of service to people in this community. And it's been there since 1994, and it continues to have that service mentality. And then, of course, in 2010 we opened the popular independent living homes, and that's been great. And I've loved helping those people and serving those folks down there as well. But things are going great. We do have a few rooms opened in our assisted living, so if you're interested, or if you know someone who's interested in assisted living, and again, it's just people who need a little bit of extra help. It's we're not a nursing home. We're a true assisted living. So we do help people with their activities of daily living. We have 3 meals a day, snacks, housekeeping, laundry. We give you towels and all those good things that make a good assisted living. And I think people would really be surprised at how active and how social people are in those settings.
Well, I guess your tomatoes are over or about over.
Well, they're over. They've been over for a while.
Oh, have they?
In fact, I don't know if they ever got off the ground.
Oh,
yeah. We had a bad year. Oh. We used to have 2 or 3 residents that really focused in on that garden, and this year it kind of slipped. But next year we'll be back. We've got a couple of people that have moved in that really like gardening, so I imagine next year we have a raised garden in the back.
Yeah,
and we're going to focus on that next year.
Do you play bingo a lot there?
You know what? Betty is our bingo queen, and she takes care of that for me. But I watch them play bingo, and they really enjoy it.
Well, most senior citizens seem to enjoy that. I'm a senior citizen. I don't play bingo, but
really, well, you play cornhole.
Well, yeah.
That's your
or pool or something.
Or pool, yeah. Well, bingo is a very popular activity. We do it every week, and we have great prizes that we give away, and of course they enjoy that. We have a lot of activities going on every day, and again, it's really a social place. It not only in our independent living, which we do things together, but also in our assisted living, where we keep them busy.
But you do have a few vacancies.
We do.
And that's not been true over the years. There's been times when you didn't have a single room available.
That's exactly right. We have stayed full all these years. Of course, last year we took a little dip, but we've had almost 20 residents move in the past year and a half. So there's a lot of folks, a lot of turnover, a lot of folks moving in. We continue to be a great option for folks. Our prices are very reasonable. As we like to say, we have one price for all of our services. We don't nickel and dime you. So it's a great option for people to look at. We're giving tours daily. We're giving a tour today. So if you want to stop by and see us, we'd be glad to give you a tour.
That's great. And of course, heartsideliving.com
or heartsideliving.org, either one. And then you can go to our Facebook page. We have a lot of information on there, and we're on Twitter and Instagram and all those good things. So check us out. You can find us very easily, or just stop by and see us. Coleman.
Right, and you're not hidden. I mean, you're very open, and that's good too. And of course,
we like to say, if you can make an appointment, we would love to make an appointment and stop by. But if you just if you're just in the area and you're just going down North Castle Heights Avenue and you say, hey, I'd like to take a tour of one of those homes or the assisted living, we'd be glad to show you.
And you can reach Sean 615-443-1994. That's the phone numbers. The year
that's exactly right. 1994, the year we actually opened the door.
Where were you in 1994?
1994. You really want to know? I was in college. I was at Lipscomb University.
Okay. Yeah. Just wondering.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know, but I figured you'd know.
Yeah, I was in.
You ready for Heartside?
Yeah, you're taking me back. Albert and Vicki Hemmentaler, and guess where they live?
Howard and Vicki Hemmentaler.
They live in Possum Town, Tennessee.
Oh, Possum Town.
Yeah, they wanted me to make
Possum Town's a lot bigger than it used to be.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Albert and Vicki Hemmentaler, they came in for a tour, and they liked it, and they said they heard us on here talking, so they listened to you. And so I wanted to say hello to Albert and Vicki Hemmentaler.
Well, that's great. That is great. Well, it's good to see you.
Good to see you again. Welcome back, and I look forward to seeing you every Tuesday, Coleman. Don't be missing.
Judge Tatum took good care.
You know what? He did great. I used to see Judge. I used to see the judge a lot, and then last 3 weeks I've seen him more than the last 3 weeks, and I've seen him in the last 10 years. So it was good. It was good to see him.
Well, hopefully you and I will be doing this.
I hope so.
Now at this same time.
I hope so. I'll see you next week.
All right. Sean Dozier, Executive Director for Heartside Senior Living, 215 Castlights Avenue North. That takes us to about 21 before the hour, 21:48 here on a Tuesday. And it is great to see Mike Jennings this morning. And Mike, good morning to you.
Good morning, Coleman, and I'll add my welcome back to you. You know, the whole place fell down while you were gone.
Well, it's I don't know how much of this has been discussed on the air, and it's not my place to say a whole lot, but we are having to do some renovation because of a leak could happen upstairs.
I knew you'd pick up on it when I
it
said
includes a little improvising and whatever, but I think we're making the most of it.
You know, as far as I know, the station never missed a beat.
We had a county commission meeting last night, and an important one, and 3 important decisions that were made, which we will get to. But I don't think to you there's anything more important than talking about the Big Orange. And I know you were in Knoxville, and I've seen some of your posts on Facebook and all that. I watched that ball game and the baseball back and forth. But, of course, there was a long ending right at the end of that game there.
It was a long game anyway. A lot of things I think will come out of that game, Coleman. I hope they do. First of all, it was an embarrassment and a black eye to the University of Tennessee, in my opinion. But as I was telling the ladies out front, anytime you sell alcohol at ball games, you're particularly asking for that. And I noticed that one of the things that came out from the SEC yesterday is they've instructed all the member schools to review their alcohol availability policy. They need to, because they were still selling alcohol up there the other night in the fourth quarter. And it's late at night. People have been around there all day. Now, having said that, I told an Ole Miss fan this. Tennessee can recover from this. They'll do some PR stuff, they'll tighten up their procedures, and they'll learn from it. Ole Miss has got Lane Kiffin, and they're headed for long-term problems because he's been a problem everywhere he's been. And he was instigating part of that the other night. They had Ole Miss players on the sideline. Now, it was Tennessee fans throwing the stuff. Don't get me wrong. And I'm not diminishing that in any way. But once they moved the Ole Miss players off the sidelines out toward the hash mark, they were turning toward the students and giving the come on sign. Come on. And none of their coaching staff stopped it. They let it go on. And in my opinion, it's like throwing gasoline on fire.
Yep.
And so it was and I hope when the conference looks at it, they obviously have already admonished Tennessee to the tune of $250,000. I don't know that they'll fine Ole Miss or that they should, but they certainly ought to take it up with the athletic director about his coaching staff.
Well, a situation like this, cooler heads need to prevail.
Absolutely.
And I agree with you. I mean, I'm not anti-alcohol, but there are times when you don't need to. And I think in the fourth quarter of and same thing. I remember this time too in baseball, professional baseball, where things got out of hand.
Yep.
When maybe they had a free beer night or something like that. And some people ain't got any sense.
And they cut off, in most of the baseball parks I've been to, and I'm sure you have as well, they cut off alcohol sales in the 7th inning. There's a lot of things that'll come out of that. The other thing I was going to mention was actually on the field stuff. They got to find a way to stop this flopping, and both teams were doing it. I mean, Coleman, you may not could tell it on TV, but they'd run a play and all 22 players would be lined up, ready to go. And then when Tennessee got in their formation, all of a sudden one of the Ole Miss guys would just fall over holding his ankle. Well, he'd been standing there the whole time. And then we got to doing it. And so you had just flop after flop after flop. And all that is free timeouts, because they won't let the teams come to the sidelines. They can let them go to the hash mark, and then the coaches can come out and talk to them. So it's like getting a free timeout. And both coaches were using it. I hope they fix that. They won't fix it till the off season, but it's got to be fixed. Otherwise, you're going to have 4.5 and 5 hour games.
Yeah. Well, You enjoying the Braves beating the Dodgers?
I am, and I was watching the scoreboard too. I couldn't watch the game, but I was watching that too.
Well, I've got a crow to pick with the Dodgers, I guess, and I've never liked them much anyway. Yankees has always been my number one bad boys, but they've done what the Yankees used to do, is go by. What's David Price doing with the Dodgers? All I've seen him do is see his face there sitting on the bench or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
And they're paying him millions.
Yeah.
And then they got Scherzer.
Yeah. And Kershaw, Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah.
They got a good pitching staff. They can get them on the field.
And of course, I love the Vandy boys. Walker Buehler.
Maybe the best pitcher they've got.
I hope the Dodgers get it put to them.
Yeah.
I just do.
Yeah.
And it may.
Tommy Bryan ain't going to like either one of us.
No, I know. Preston in the afternoon's not either. My brother, but that's okay.
A lot of Dodgers fans around.
It's already about time for a break, but you had three important decisions that were made last night, a judgeship, a county commissioner, and a school board member. And tell you what, just hold that till we come back. We'll take a break here. Mike Jennings is our county attorney, and we'll talk about last night's county commission meeting when we return after this break on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. I want to thank our friends at Bates Ford and the Works Vehicle Checkup. They'll make sure your vehicle is ready for any road. It's $49.95 up to 5 quarts of oil, tax and disposal. Tire rotation safety check to 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Traffic's really heavy now. 65 southbound here at Trinity Lane. Same goes for 65 coming off that ram from Vietnam Vets. It's also picking up down to Wilson County through Mount Juliet. All that traffic 40 west headed towards Nashville. 100 block at Gallatin Pike. That's one of the latest wrecks. Still on the scene of that earlier crash at Castle Gate at Smith Springs. Gatlinburg Wine Cellar is home of the world famous cotton candy wine. Log on today, GatlinburgWineCellar.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome to Heartside Senior Living, Lebanon's unique senior living community designed for seniors to age in place, all within a safe, comfortable, and Christian environment. Beautiful retirement homes designed for an independent lifestyle with maintenance-free living. Heartside Senior Living also continues the excellent tradition of assisted living for those seniors who need additional services. Heartside Senior Living, an independent retirement community and assisted living community, all on one campus in the heart of Lebanon. Call 615-443-1994 for a tour.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tommy Bryan. Join me, Bob Lee, Terry Stafford, and Joe Gardner as we bring you Lebanon High football live every Friday night right here on WANT and WCOR throughout this 2021 season. The Blue Devils entertain the Gallatin Green Wave Friday, October 22nd. Don't forget Blue Devil football on WANT WCOR Lebanon. Hi, everybody. This is Tommy Bryan, and along with my color commentator, Bob Lee, we'll be bringing you Cumberland University football right here on WANT and WCOR. Saturday, October 23rd, Cumberland will host Bethel University. Cumberland football right here on WANT and WCOR Lebanon.
All right, welcome to the final segment of Coleman and Company here on a Tuesday morning. My friend Mike Jennings is here. We're friends. We don't always agree on everything. You're the biggest Big Orange fan I know, and I still wear the Vandy black and gold. But
you do. I haven't been able to convert you.
Their game, they were leading, and I just heard about it, but South Carolina threw a bunch of passes with a different quarterback and scored and won 21-20?
Yep.
Too bad. Well, I know you're not going to say too bad.
No, I won't. After Saturday night, we got to take care of our own house.
Okay, let's get to that last night's meeting, and this is unusual that we had a school board member who had been duly elected, but it was according to what I've heard and read, the job was just more than he anticipated, and he wanted out because it was just too much, too taxing. We had a county commissioner who I believe changed residences, moved to a different district, and had to be replaced. Plus, Judge Haywood Barry says he's ready to quit, and we're preparing ahead of time and did. So tell us who and the whole procedure last night, if you will.
Well, last night we elected the District 2 commissioner first. When I say we, the county commission, I don't have a vote, but we did that so that there would be a full complement of 25 commissioners to select the other two. So a gentleman by the name of Richard Brown, I heard him called Rick Brown as well, was elected to the 2nd district seat. And as soon as he was elected, he was unopposed. And as soon as he was elected, the mayor swore him in, or administered the oath, I guess is a cleaner way to say that. And he took his seat. So we then had a full complement of commissioners. We had one missing. So we had 24 there last night. Then we moved to the election of a school board member, and Melissa Lynn was chosen. Another gentleman, and I forget his name, allowed his name to be put in the nomination, but Ms. Lynn won unanimously. And then we selected a general sessions judge to replace Judge Haywood Berry on January 1, and the effective date of his retirement, I think, is December 31. And we elected Jimmy Lee, who is with a lot of people know Jimmy, a local boy here, and a really good guy. And they elected him, and he'll take office on January 1. I want to say about Judge Berry, what a tremendous jurist he has been. And I'm just thinking, I've been practicing law 42 years, and I don't remember much time when Judge Berry wasn't on the bench. So that's going to be a change for some of us old-timers. I used to talk about the old-time lawyers, and Steve Brown reminded me one day that we are them. So, but though we filled those seats, Jimmy didn't have any opposition either. I guess I'll have to learn to start saying Judge Lee. But he didn't have any opposition either. So those elections moved along a little bit quicker than we anticipated. So we got out of there last night at 8:59. I wouldn't have bet any of my money or yours on that at 7 o'clock that would have happened. I would have thought that was a 10 o'clock meeting.
Well, I guess those three were the really big things, but there wasn't as much competition, let's say, for those seats.
There was not. And then we moved in later. Last night was also the night we got reports from a lot of office holders. But we moved in. We did a lot of important things last night, Coleman. We had 22 resolutions, which is very unusual for an October. We finished funding the 2 fire stations in the west end of the county to the tune of $1.7 million. We approved the purchase of a new radio system that will benefit WEMA and the Sheriff's Department, and that is at a cost of $3.75 million. Now, that is something that has been talked about for several years, a great need. We have places in the county where these folks can't communicate by radio. This will be an upgrade, and don't ask me how. I don't understand how radios, electricity, or TVs work, but
well, let me interject here. Is there any connection or this have anything really to do with 911?
Well, yes and no. It's not being done to benefit 911, but it'll obviously help everybody that's in the emergency service or emergency providing business.
Okay, this is going to mean better communication in remote areas.
It is, and between maybe you call it interoperability between different units or different departments, cities, counties. Both the sheriff and Director Cooper of WEMA have touted this for years. We need this. And with the American Rescue Plan money coming along, it was a good time to do it. So that got approved last night. We approved so much I can't remember it all. We approved another $550,000 to buy an additional 36 acres adjoining the Ag Center, which is going to be a pretty key purchase for us. We thought it was 30 acres. It surveyed out to 36. So that's going to be a help.
And where is this?
I'm not sure exactly. I think it's off in the, is it Bluebird Road out in that area there, or Peyton back in there?
Okay.
But I'm not sure exactly where.
Who's this going to benefit?
Ag Center.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I got you.
Yeah, we're going to have additional property plus, with all the building that's going on, it's beginning to encroach upon us a little bit on the boundaries And somebody mentioned last night, might have been Quentin Smith, that we don't want our fairgrounds looking like the fairgrounds in Nashville with residential right up at our doorstep.
Yeah.
So we took care of that, and then last night we took a very important step. We are losing employees, Coleman, right and left, and it's got to be stopped. I mean, it's just a sign of the times, I think. But we approved last night $3,475,000 to give a $3,500 one-time bonus to everybody who was working for the county before January 1 of 2021, and then $1,750 to anybody that started after that up to October 8. If you hired on after October 8, you won't get it. But the bonus is being given as a reward to our employees for working through the COVID crisis, coming to work every day. All of them were deemed essential employees, so they had to come to work. And so that got approved last night. Now, we are also looking at a pay study.
Let me ask, now you said we're losing. Is this, are they going because the grass is greener on the other side of the fence? In other words, going somewhere else where they can make more money? Or are there some other reasons for losing these employees?
I would say primarily it is more money. The figures that were thrown around last night, I can't cite them to you, but we have people with WEMA who are making not very much money at all. And one particular class that was mentioned in a class of employees, their classification, said that they could go right across the river to Sumner County and make $19,000 more a year. Now, people will move for that, obviously. So this bonus won't fix that. It will help here to reward them for their faithfulness. But the county also approved money last night, very small amount, to look at another pay study that will hopefully make us more competitive. But, just look around. I will say this, that we have one classification of employees, at least one at WEMA, that you can make more money by working in fast food. So, and those folks have training. They have specialties, and we got to fix that. Same thing in the sheriff's department. They're short about, I think they said last night, maybe it added up to 12 to 15 employees. WEMA's short about 18 employees. So we got a lot of open positions. So if you want a job, go see the folks and fill out an application.
As far as the reports, anything unusual? I'm wondering, what did Jeff Luttrell have to say? Did he do a school report?
He did, and he pretty much reviewed what happened at the school board meeting. He reviewed where we are on the need to purchase land for new schools. He reviewed the COVID numbers, and Jeff just did a good job in about 10 minutes of keeping the county commission updated, and he's doing a good job of being very transparent.
Yeah.
And, when he gets done, they call for questions, and not many questions come because he is covered and what they want to know about. So he did a good job. We had other reports from the sheriff's department and WEMA and road superintendent. I think Steve said we paved 38.25 miles of county roads this year and still paving. And we did a lot of other things. Oh, the other significant thing is we approved contracts of insurance for another year for our self-employed, self-funded health insurance plan, and then workers' comp and property and casualty. So we got all that done for another year.
Well, it was, I guess, pretty productive night, really.
It was very productive for 2 hours, and I was just sitting there last night toward the end hoping that, hey, I hope we don't have a lot in November, because we've covered insurance, we've covered funding for fire stations, we've covered radios, we've covered employees, so maybe November will be a slower month.
Well, I usually wind up asking you something about Watertown. You've had your mile-long yard sale. Jim Amaro is stepping down as its leader, which is nothing new. I mean, that's been there. But what you got any late news, any breaking news from Watertown?
No, we have a city council meeting tonight, so that's usually when I find out things. But no, I don't know of anything. Everything seems to be running relatively smoothly. From my understanding, we had a good yard sale. We've had trains up the last 2 Saturdays and more scheduled in November and December. That's always good. And as far as I know, we had a little traffic snafu over on Main Street trying to get people in and out of the schools, and hopefully we fixed that yesterday.
Are you growing at all inside the city?
A little bit inside the city. What I'm finding, and has been a trend over the last 5 years or so, where people are buying the little frame houses and knocking them down and building back something more modern, a brick home or whatever. So we're not really growing in a sense, but our tax base is increasing slowly. Outside of Watertown, 3 to 5 miles, we're like everybody else. I get amused. I had somebody tell me the other day, said, I'm going to come to Watertown and buy me some cheap land. I said, you better keep going east because you ain't going to find it in Watertown.
Do you anticipate ever annexing?
Somebody will. I don't believe in annexing just to annex. If we needed it for some purpose, we would certainly do it if it was an industry or a school or whatever. I don't believe in annexing just to annex, but Coleman, once you annex, you got to provide water and sewer service. And, Watertown's got that one rock that runs all the way through the county. And when you start digging down below the dirt, put in sewer lines, you better spend some money.
Well, we've about come to the end of a time here. It's always good to see you.
Yep,
And,
good to be back.
Thanks for your sports report. Thanks for your county commission report and your Watertown report.
Well, we covered it, and now we got to go face Alabama this week, and I'm sure they'll be very gracious hosts.
Well, Mike Jennings is the biggest UT fan I know. You still hadn't missed a game since 1987?
I haven't.
Home, away, or bowl game?
That's right. So far, so good. And I've been fortunate not to be sick or not to have any family emergencies.
We'll see you in November.
All right. Hope so, yeah.
And that's it for Tuesday. Join us tomorrow if you will. Till then, I wish you a terrific day.